I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey folks, this is Mal once again, coming at you with another review for a film. For some reason I just wanted to watch again. I know my friend Mike, OCP, did a review for this a while ago. He's not a big fan of this film. I mean, he didn't hate it, but he thought it was so-so at best. But that is Anaconda. Which I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this cover. I liked what was on the VHS, where it was just the snake. The snake with the eyes, and you know, you can't scream if you can't breathe, or it will take your breath away. Good taglines. Now the film, I actually saw this at a theater, at the movie theater back in 1997. Was it 97? Yeah, it was 97. And the fucking DVD case broke is a piece of shit. But yeah, back in 1997, I actually got to see this at a movie theater, and I had a lot of fun with it. And you know what? Watching it again, I have a lot of fun with it now. I like this film. I think even nowadays it's a little bit underrated, because the film came out and it made some money. Cost $45 million, made about 65 million in the U.S., made about 130 some million worldwide. Definitely enough money to make 3 sequels. Yeah, Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, which came out in theaters like 7 years later or so, which I'm like, that's weird that you don't make a sequel that has nothing to do with the original 7 years later. And then you had like 2 for Sci-Fi Channel that they did, I think, back to back. Anaconda 3 Offspring with David Hasselhoff, and Anaconda 4, which actually has Lyndon Ashby, Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, in it. I think they also have John Rhys Davies, Sala from Indiana Jones. Now this film, although Mike did a good job with his review, I will say I do disagree with the review, but to each their own. The film is pretty simple story. You have a documentary crew who are going to the Amazon to search for this tribe, and they're led by Eric Stoltz is the guide. And the documentary crew, you have Jennifer Lopez, you got Icecube is the cameraman, you got Owen Wilson, you got Carrie Wooer, and she's been in a lot of stuff, Carrie Wooer. She was in 8-Legged Freaks with David Arquette. What's the most she... Beastmaster 2, a tiny role in Fort Fairlane. She was in Thinner, Stephen King's Thinner, some episodes of Sliders in the later years. The Hitcher 2, that piece of shit. Hellraiser Deader, another piece of shit. 2 of the Prophecy sequels, Uprising and Forsaken. So, been a lot of genre stuff. You also have an actor, I believe his name was it Jonathan Hyde? He's there as like the sort of, not anchor man, but he's the guy in front of the camera. I think people remember him most from The Mummy. He was also in Titanic. He was in Jumanji, among many others. And basically this group of people, again, Eric Stoltz is the guide, and Jennifer Lopez is kind of the head of this documentary crew. I think it's National Geographic. I believe so, maybe wrong. And they're going to the Amazon to look for this tribe. And along the way, they find this guy stranded, Jon Voight's character. Paul Cerrone. One thing leads to another, you find out that, Paul Cerrone is kind of tricking people and trying to make them go his way. As they find out, he's a hunter, pretty much a poacher. He wants to catch this very large snake. They make a lot of money. He'll do whatever he can. Like, he does something that people don't find out till later. But, like, Eric Stoltz knows what he's talking about, because Jon Voight wants them to go this way, and Eric Stoltz's like, wait a minute, I know how to find tribes. We gotta go this way. So Paul Cerrone, you find out he actually put a wasp in the guy's mask, breathing mask, when he goes underwater. So it's not deadly, but he paralyzes. And it is a weird role for Eric Stoltz, because he's in the beginning of the film. Then most of them, pretty much the huge chunk in the middle, he's not in the film. And then he comes back for like one scene to fuck up Paul Cerrone, stab him with a dart, and then comes back at the very end. I mean, it's a very strange role. Very unusual role. I have to wonder if there's some backstory to it. But I still like Eric Stoltz for the little bit he had. It didn't bother me that much, though. I mean, it's strange, but I liked him. He didn't die, and okay, it was different. And what I liked about this film is, first off, I like the cast. Very well-known cast. I mean, right off the bat, you got Danny Trejo as this guy talking, and, you see the snake's point of view, and you get the idea he shoots himself. It's like fucking Danny Trejo there. And the crew, I mean, you got Jennifer Lopez. I'm not sure, I don't think this was the first acting she did, but I think she did a good job. She did a good job with the lead, and I'll say definitely this film's much better than the sequels. That's, no bullshit. And for Jennifer Lopez, I think she actually did a really good job. I know this was definitely one of her more early roles. I think one of her first, because Selena came out the same year as this film. And yeah, I think she did good. I think she did fine. She was strong, she wasn't wimpy, she wasn't a bitch. She did fine, and I liked Icecube as the cameraman. He had some fun moments. He wasn't just the black comic relief. He didn't die. In fact, by the end of it, your two heroes is the two minorities. The Latino woman, Jennifer Lopez, and Icecube, the black guy. They're the ones who are the heroes who fuck up the snakes, and then, Eric Stoltz wakes up again, and it's the three of them going home. Oh, you spoiled it. Well, it's not, come on, it's Anaconda. It's not like fucking, oh my god, it's about your existence in life. It's a monster movie. It's a creature feature. It's a fun creature feature. Directed by Luis Loza. The film he had done was The Specialist, and I'm sorry, Anaconda is miles better than The Specialist. Miles better. Specialist, I have a lot of problems with it. I think I did a review for it. Maybe I'll re-review it one day. And I will say, I don't know why I started there. This is Luis Loza's best film he directed. Sniper, I like. I think I have it on VHS. I like Sniper, but this is his best film in my opinion. I think it's very capably, competently directed. You can tell they had some money for it, because I'm not sure if they exactly shot on the Amazon, but it looks very well done, especially on wide shots of the, I guess you call it the houseboat, riverboat, I should say. That's sort of the riverboat that they're on. Again, the cast does well. I mean, again, Icecube has some fun moments, like when he's talking to the Jonathan Hyde, kind of a snobby British guy. He's like, well, maybe I could hire someone and kill you, maybe $100 would do it. He's like, well, I could kill you for nothing. You and whose army? Your mama's. And Icecube was a lot of fun. The snake's out there this big? It was from the trailer. Icecube, I really enjoy as an actor. He's one of those guys who, rapper turned actor. He's probably one of my favorites. Icecube definitely has a good, I don't know if personality would be the right word for it. Likability, definitely. Jon Voight, I know this is a big problem Mike had. I do disagree with this. I don't think it's one of Jon Voight's worst performances. In fact, I would say this is one of Jon Voight's more fun performances, because I thought Jon Voight was a hoot and a half to watch, and not even a so bad good way. I think Jon Voight, I think it was a lot of fun. You know, I'll take this over Deliverance. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Deliverance. I'll take this over other stuff. I think Jon Voight, he knew what film he was making. He was having a lot of fun. He's kind of this, I think he was from Paraguay, his character, and he's like, I think Jennifer Lopez says, snakes don't eat people. It's like, oh no, they don't? Strata has this little weird smile, like, just like a, you know, pretty much is the snake of the group. I'm doing okay, little baby bud. I don't know, he just had fun with the role. I thought he did a really good job. I don't really understand the hatred this guy got for his performance. It's a fun role. I mean, he plays a entertaining bad guy, a guy you love to hate. And he's definitely sinister. He's definitely a bad guy. Like, there's a point where he tells Jonathan Hyde, the snobby British guy, what to do. The guy responds, you know, how dare you treat me like a poodle? You know, you presume I'm going to do things. And he's like, oh, is that it? How about I presume to throw you in the river? You like that, presume? Like, the way he said it, I think Jon Voight did a fun job. He was fun as the hunter, the poacher. I think he decided to have fun with the role, and he was entertained to watch. I don't really understand the hatred. I thought they did a really good job. Owen Wilson, he does okay. He doesn't have much to do. And if you hate Owen Wilson, he dies. So if you hate Owen Wilson, there you go. He gets killed. And again, Aristos for a small part. Almost every person, except this one guy who plays, he was the driver, but then he gets killed. Guy named Mateo. Vincent Castellanos. I don't know that guy. Yeah, I don't recognize the movies he's in. I guess he's in The Crow, City of Angels as Spider Monkey. But he's like the only guy I didn't know. But the other guys I enjoyed. And yeah, recognizable cast, so the cast helps. Another thing that helps, it's just a straightforward creature feature film with a lot of practical effects, especially when you compare it to the second, and especially the Sci-Fi Channel, like the part 3 and 4. There's a lot of practical effects on the snakes, and they did shit on a lot too. I mean, I know the Razzies, which I hate the Razzie Awards, they said this was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, Worst New Star at the Animatronic Anaconda, and Worst Screen Couple, Jon Voight and Animatronic Anaconda. The animatronic snakes, I don't really understand the hatred for them. I liked them. I thought they were well done. I thought it was cool to see animatronic snakes. You don't see that nowadays. And of course people say, well, this is why. And they do use some CGI, but they do use a lot of practical, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort in that. I appreciate the effort in having animatronic snakes, and I don't think they're that bad. I mean, snakes don't have a lot of expression in their faces. You know, they really don't. And I didn't mind them, you know, squealing or anything like that. It didn't really bother me as much as it did Mike. Or, I like the way the snakes looked. I like that, as, for the most part, it's practical. I mean, you have some... I like the attack scenes when they wrap around the victims. I know Mike said that it was unrealistic on how big the snakes are. But to be honest, even back then in 1997, it didn't bother me that they were giant snakes. It's like, cool, they're going in... Because they have like an opening crawl about the legend of the 40-foot snake. I'm like, okay, they have this crawl about a legend of a 40-foot snake. And I know anacondas, they get to be... Usually I think they're around 20 feet. But at times they can get to 30, 35 feet long. So this was a story about, you know, they're going to Amazon, and because of this asshole, they go through this portion, and now it's a 40-foot snake. And I didn't need some long, drawn out, it was a government experiment gone awry. I'm like, fuck it. You know, it's the legend. They're facing legends like Congo. I enjoy Congo. That's another film that has that adventure quality to the flick. I mean, it's PG-13, but this was an instance I didn't mind it. And it had that adventure quality about them encountering this legend. You know, whether it be the legend of these gray gorillas that will hunt you and kill you and murder you. I really don't think they exist in real life, but that's why it's a legend. Same thing here. It's the legend of the 40-foot anaconda. I'm guessing maybe that's why they put in the opening crawl, because they probably figured, oh, you know, no one's going to believe it, you know. But there is a legend. And they will fuck you up. Like, I know, I think another thing Mike didn't like, and the only reason I keep mentioning is I think that's why, the reason why some people, dude, this film gets a 4.4 on IMDb, and I think that's pretty fucking low for this film. 4.4 on IMDb, I mean, I know it's people's opinions, but I don't think it's that bad at all. It is almost the same rating as the sequel, and come on. I mean, it's people's opinion, and that's cool, but I just don't understand at all. I just thought it was a fun, entertaining creature feature flick. But I know he didn't really get, you know, the movements of the Anaconda. But, you know, Anacondas, they're fun attack scenes, and I've never seen Anaconda attack in real life. I do know, though, that they will break your bones. I mean, that's what they do with animals. I remember hearing one time, this is before I even saw the film for the first time, and I loved it even then. But even finding out more, like with snakes, I think the whole skin is like muscle underneath the skin, like constant muscle. I may be wrong. And they get like, what, 300 pounds? I think someone explained they had like a 90 PSI or something like that. Think of a school bus resting on your chest. That's how these motherfuckers can wrap around you and squeeze you. Not only do they suffocate you, they will break your bones. I mean, again, it's like a fucking school bus on your chest. I remember that someone actually described it, you know, that's how strong these guys are, because they're, you know, 2, 3, maybe more 100 pounds, and it's a shitload of muscle. And these anacondas are crazy. I mean, I think that's why Anaconda didn't bother me, because it's a mysterious type of creature. It's not like I can just go outside and see an anaconda. You know, I don't want to. And, you know, of course, it's a legend, so that's why they're bigger. I mean, it's a movie. You might as well see a big motherfucker instead of a tiny motherfucker. If I don't want to see a tiny snake, I can roll in the mirror and pull down my pants to see a tiny snake. But I want to see a big motherfucker if I see it on the screen. So, hey, if the legend's a 40-foot, why not? My point is, though, anacondas, I've seen pictures. Anacondas will they fuck up alligators. And there's a picture where a snake exploded because it tried to swallow an entire fucking alligator. That, or like it did swallow an entire alligator and then they exploded. What do you think about it? A snake swallowing an alligator. And there's pictures where they're dead, but then this one died, like a person halfway in it. Yeah, I know, and this. But getting to the film itself, I think that's why I didn't mind the film. You know, the idea, well, not the idea, I mean, they're real, but Anaconda, you can buy, that's a creature you can buy that you don't want to fuck with. And, okay, a giant Anaconda, okay, that's a fun B-movie creature variant. And this is definitely a B-movie, all the way. I think the cast did well. If you don't like Owen Wilson, he gets killed. But granted, the two minorities don't get killed. They're the heroes. Fucking Icecube slams a fucking axe right into the motherfucker's head and calls it, bitch. And they work together at the end. One goes up for the snake to chase it. They dump the fuel, and it burns like a motherfucker, and then Icecube slams with a fucking axe. I didn't mind the music by Who did the music for this? Randy Edelman. That sounds familiar. Randy Edelman. Edelman. Oh, that's who it is. He did the score to Ghostbusters 2. Kindergarten Cop. Beethoven. Dragging the Bruce Lee story. That's a good score. The Mask. Billy Madison. Dragonheart. Daylight. I love the score to Daylight. He did the score to Daylight. Shanghai Noon. Triple X. Huh. That's good. Okay, there's a lot of scores I like. I like the score. I like the B-movie aspect. It's a fun creature feature. It's a likable cast. Very nice locations. Again, I swear they must have shot this. Maybe, I think they did shoot some of this in the Amazon. I could be wrong. Because I remember way back when there was a HBO making of, which for some reason they did not put on the fucking DVD. Which I'll get to. But I think they mentioned that they shot some of this on location. So you get some really nice looking shots. And I like the animatronic snakes. I know I may sound crazy and like a dumbass, but I like the animatronic snakes. I like the effort. Well, cool. It's a, it helps with the actors. And then they have some CGI in there, but there's a lot of practical stuff. I appreciate that. And the film's not long. It's under 90 minutes. It's like, without the end credits, 84, 85 minutes long. It's a fun creature feature. It's an entertaining time. Competently directed. I like the cast. I like the animatronic snakes. Is it 100% realistic? I don't know. I don't know that much about Anacondas, but I like them. I like the idea of using them as a villain. If every Sci-Fi Channel film would be like this, well, they'd have to have the budget of this. It'd be a much better state. I mean, trying to go practical, having, in my opinion, a good cast. Again, I like Jon Voight. It says here on Wikipedia, the film was the subject of controversy after actors Icecube and Owen Wilson were almost fatally injured by the live Anaconda used on set. I'm guessing the animatronic. I never heard that story anywhere before, so I don't know if Wikipedia, they just put it in there like bullshit or what. But I've never heard that story. But I'm not sure what else I could say about it. I know it's over 20-minute long review for Anaconda, but as for the film, I mean, there's a lot of snake action, if that sounds weird, especially in the third act, when, like, they've tied this asshole by Jon Voight, tied him up, and the boat gets stuck, and they got through. They tried to get it out, and Jonathan Hyde, the British guy, has to go up a waterfall. And I actually liked this scene. I think Mike didn't like it, but I liked it. Where the guy jumps and the snake just snatches him, grabs him, wraps him up. And I bought it. Anacondas, they do twist like that. They do twist people, and they do snatch animals from the air, from what I understand. I don't know, it didn't bother me, I guess. It wasn't like, if it flew and floated to them, then I'd be like, wait a minute, I don't think snakes fly. Can they fly, Bobby? Can they fly? But they're fighting, and they gets Icecube, and she shoots the shit out of it. And again, Eric Stoltz gets a good moment where he's fighting. He stabs a dart on Jon Voight to save the other two. Again, he gets put back to bed. That must have been an easy job for Eric Stoltz. He comes in, and it's kind of weird. Eric Stoltz, his character never finds out about the snake. I have to wonder how that conversation would have been. Like, he wakes up and he's like, what happened? Well, a giant fucking snake killed everybody else. What? I almost want to see that scene where the Icecube and Jennifer Lopez are trying to explain it to Eric Stoltz. I don't know why I'm laughing about that, but... And then they get tied up by Jon Voight. These two get tied up, and he dumps, like, this blood on them, and One thing leads to another, and Jon Voight gets swallowed up. And like, snakes tend to do, they do spit stuff back out, and when he spits Jon Voight back up, he looks up at J-Lo and like winks like this. I know it's on purpose. It's almost as if, you know, it's a wink to the audience, or is that little thing like, don't take it serious. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of a fun little point to the end of that character. Oh, he definitely plays a guy you just really want to hate. But likable cast. I like them doing animatronic snake effects. Stuff they don't do nowadays. They don't even try to. And I don't think they look that bad. I mean, again, a fucking snake is not the most expressive thing of all time. I mean, I think they did a fine job with it. It's not a fucking... It's just like the shark in Jaws. I didn't mind the look in Jaws and Jaws 2 of the shark. It looks like a fucking shark. They don't have the most expression on their faces. It's practical. It's animatronic or whatever. I'm fine with that. It's a hell lot better than CGI shit that we get nowadays. And so the animatronic snakes, the cast, fun B-movie plot, you know, the attack scenes are entertaining to watch. You have a little bit of fun humor in it. Overall, entertaining B-movie. I don't really get the hate this film has gotten. I didn't like Mike, he didn't hate it, but I'm talking about a lot of these other people. I mean, 4.4 on IMDb, and the Razzies saying, oh, it's so bad, it's good. I don't really get that, but that's just me. And before I go out, this DVD sucks my dick. Because I don't really understand how... Obviously, this film was successful enough. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I like the way the titles are done. It's going to sound weird. But the way the titles are done is all in red. Like, the way the titles of Anaconda comes up is like really slow, and it's like all in red. I don't know why. That made me think of like a 70s movie. Like a 70s or 80s creature feature. I don't know how to describe it, but the way the font of Anaconda, maybe it's just me, but I don't know, just I like that a little bit. But anyway, like I was saying, the DVD of this sucks my dick because this film was a hit. It was a hit in the US. It made a lot of money overseas as well. I'm pretty damn sure this did well rental-wise. The fact that they made a sequel, and then Anaconda 3 and 4 as well, has got to be something to it. And this DVD has a trailer, and that's it. Now, you tell me that no one in the film, no one, is willing to talk about this. No one. No one. I mean, this was a box office hit. I think Jennifer Lopez owes this film a little bit. Same with Icecube. I mean, come on now. Hell, at the very least, if I haven't mentioned before, probably did, there was an HBO making of Anaconda. I know this, because that was a time where I had HBO, and we watched HBO a lot. I know there was a making of Anaconda on HBO. I swear to God there was. It's nowhere on YouTube that I could find. It's nowhere on YouTube. It's nowhere anywhere. Why didn't you at least put that on there? The HBO making of Anaconda. Because I know they talked about how, you know, the stuff they shot on the set, and then the stuff they shot on location, and, you know, working with the animatronic snakes. Again, I know there was a HBO making of. Where the fuck is that? They couldn't at least put that on the fucking DVD? I don't understand that shit. At least that. But I would like, you know, a commentary by the director, Luis Loza. I think this is like one of the last films the guy directed. It's not like the guy's that fucking busy. He can't, you know, talk about this film. Icecube and J-Lo are so busy and so up above everything that they can't talk about this movie, at least put the making of from HBO from back in the fucking day. This film was a box office hit. I mean, give me a break, Columbia Pictures. This is like one of those sleeper hits that people didn't think would be a hit, but actually turned a tidy profit. And again, 4.4 on IMDb, that's bullshit. In my opinion, that's bullshit. That's just me, though. But yeah, I like Anaconda. I mean, I'm not going to say it's one of the best creature feature films of all time. But it's my favorite film. I'll say for anything to do with snakes, killer snakes, giant snakes, or anything, I think it's the best. Hands down. Just an entertaining B movie with a good cast, in my opinion. Nice animatronic snakes effects. And Razzies can kiss my ass because they're lowlives and scum suckers of the earth, like the MPAA. But either way, thanks for watching. And since I reviewed the first one, I'm going to do part 2, part 3 with the Hoff, and part 4. That's going to be fucking fun. But anyway, I think 2 is like a time waster. It's like a time waster. Definitely not as good as the first one. 3 and 4 is when we're getting to the shit. Up, right, down, and shit. Upside down and shit on yourself kind of shit. But anyway, that's Anaconda. Deserves a decent fucking DVD. But either way, thanks for watching and take care. Later.